Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. My name is Stanley Cole. I was 34, engaged to be married in 3 months, and I thought my life made sense. I design operational systems for a manufacturing company. My days run on plans, timelines, and checks. I do not work on guesses. I confirm, then decide. I assumed my relationship with Paula Harding followed the same logic. Paula was 31, sharp, funny, good with people. Her parents, Charles and Linda, came from old money. They insisted on paying for almost everything related to the wedding: hall, catering, music, dress, decorations. The budget made my head spin. When I tried to argue, Charles waved a hand. "Consider it our gift," he said. "You've treated my daughter well. Let me handle the bill." So I let him. One Tuesday evening, I was at the kitchen table, updating a project timeline on my laptop. Paula came in, heels in one hand, phone in the other, grin wide. "Stanley," she said, dropping her bag on a chair, "you will not believe this. Melissa is finally engaged." Her sister Melissa was 29. I had talked with her at a family dinner 2 weeks earlier. She told me she was tired of dating apps and planned to focus on work. She called men a bad investment and laughed. That did not sound like someone about to accept a ring. "To who?" I asked. "Guy from her office. Name's Alex," Paula said quickly. "Anyway, the girls are throwing a bachelorette in Vegas next week. 5 days, Wednesday to Sunday. I have to go." She said it like it was already locked. No question, no, "What do you think?" 5 days? I closed the laptop. "That's a long trip." "It's the only time everyone can make it," she replied. "Flights are booked. Melissa is over the moon. I need this break before the wedding stress kicks in." She moved around the kitchen, opening cabinets, talking about pool parties and matching dresses. I watched her, listened, and let the details line up in my head. The sister who hated dating was suddenly engaged. A 5-day Vegas run appeared out of nowhere. Timing, cost, story, none of it sat right. I kissed Paula on the forehead and smiled. "Sure," I said. "Have fun in Vegas." I did not argue. I did not accuse. I just noted the crack and waited to see how deep it went. Paula showered after dinner. While the water ran, I sent a simple message to Melissa. "Congrats on the engagement. Paula told me the good news. Vegas sounds wild." I expected a normal reply, a confused joke, maybe a short explanation. What I got was a hammer. "Engagement? Stanley, what are you talking about? I'm not dating anyone. I'm in Chicago for a work conference next week." I stared at the screen. Another message followed. "What Vegas trip? Is Paula okay?" The first crack widened. I typed back something neutral. "Must have mixed up details. No worries." I deleted the thread. When Paula came out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, she walked straight to me and kissed my cheek. "Who are you texting?" she asked lightly. "Work," I said. "Nothing exciting." She smiled and went to pack. The next morning I drove her to the airport. She wore sunglasses even though the sky was cloudy. She kissed me once more before rolling her suitcase toward security. "I'll call you when I land," she said. "I'll be here," I replied. I waited until she disappeared into the terminal before heading home. I sat at my desk, opened the shared location app we set up years ago after she lost her phone at a concert, and refreshed the screen. Her dot didn't move toward the airport gates. It moved toward the parking garage, then the highway, then southwest, out of the city. No flight to Vegas. No trip with friends. The dot traveled for hours, steady, direct, without hesitation. By mid-afternoon, it reached a coastal town 3 hours away. The final stop was a small apartment complex near the marina. I zoomed in. I recognized the address. Daniel Reyes. Her ex. The man she once described as a mistake I'll never revisit. My phone sat on the table as the truth arranged itself in clean lines. This wasn't panic. It wasn't impulse. It was planned. Built. Executed. A complete false structure. I didn't call Paula. I called the one man who had more at stake than anyone else. "Charles," I said when he answered, "we need to talk about your daughter." Charles Harding didn't say much on the phone. He never did when something serious hit him. His silence was the kind that cleared a room. "Come to the house," he said. 20 minutes. I drove to the Harding's place. Linda opened the door before I rang the bell. Her face was calm, but her eyes searched mine. "Is Paula hurt?" she asked. "No," I said. "Not physically." That was enough for her to step aside. Charles waited in his study, hands clasped behind his back. He looked like a man reviewing quarterly numbers, not about to discuss his daughter's betrayal. He nodded toward a chair. Explain. I laid my phone on the table between us. Paula told me Melissa got engaged and the girls were taking her to Vegas, I said. I reached out to congratulate Melissa. She's not engaged. She's traveling for work next week. Linda's hand went to her mouth, but she stayed quiet. I opened the location app. This is Paula's phone. She never boarded a plane. She drove here. I zoomed in. This address. Charles leaned forward. When he read the name associated with the building's buzzer listing, he exhaled once. Sharp, controlled. Daniel, he said. Linda sat down slowly. I thought she was done with him, she whispered. So did I said. Charles kept staring at the screen. When did she arrive? About 2 hours ago. And she intends to stay? I would assume so. Charles closed his eyes for 1 second. When he opened them, they were hard. She asked me last week, he said carefully, to advance another payment for the wedding. Said the florist and venue needed early deposits. He turned his head slightly. Stanley, was that true? I don't know, I said. But her story about Melissa wasn't. Linda stood. We need to go there. Now. Charles shook his head. Not tonight. We go in the morning, when everyone is awake, when no one can accuse us of drama or surprise. He looked at me. You're coming with us. I nodded once. This wasn't anger. It wasn't yelling. It was strategy. And the Hardings played strategy better than anyone I'd ever met. We left before sunrise. Charles insisted on taking his car, a dark sedan he kept spotless. He drove. I sat in the passenger seat. Linda was in the back, hands folded tight in her lap. No one spoke for the first hour. The sky was still black when we merged onto the highway. Only the dashboard lights cut through the dark. I refreshed Paula's location every few miles. Her dot hadn't moved, still at Daniel Reyes's apartment near the marina. Linda finally broke the silence. Do you think she understands what she's done? Charles answered without looking away from the road. She understands enough to lie. That tells me everything. We drove another hour. Linda leaned forward. Stanley, were there signs? Anything we missed? I thought about that carefully. Nothing clear, I said. She was stressed about the wedding, but that didn't explain the Vegas story. Charles gripped the wheel harder. The story bothered you? From the first sentence, I said. Melissa never mentioned a boyfriend. A 5-day bachelorette makes no sense for someone who wasn't planning a wedding. And Paula rushed every detail. He nodded, jaw set. A sloppy lie. Too sloppy, I said, which usually means it wasn't built alone. Linda swallowed hard. Daniel. Another hour passed in silence. By the time we reached the coastal town, it was almost 9 a.m. Daniel's old, off-white SUV sat near the entrance of the apartment complex. Charles parked half a block away. We walk from here, he said. Linda took a breath and stepped out. The three of us moved down the sidewalk. When we reached Daniel's unit, Charles knocked once. The door swung open. It wasn't locked. The door opened halfway before it caught on a rug. Charles pushed it aside with one hand and stepped in. I followed. Linda stayed close behind us. The apartment wasn't large. One open room, kitchen, living space, and a small dining area. It felt quiet, soft, almost peaceful, until Paula appeared. She came around the corner holding a mug, wearing an oversized t-shirt that wasn't hers. Her hair was messy in a way I had never seen at home. She was laughing at something behind her. Then she saw us. The laugh died before the sound even finished. Dad, she whispered. Daniel stepped out from the kitchen, barefoot. He looked between us with a confused half-smile. What's going on? He asked Paula. She didn't answer. She couldn't. Her entire body locked. Paula, Linda said softly. Look at me. Paula backed up 2 steps. Why are you here? How? She pointed at me. Stanley? Did you track me? What is wrong with you? I didn't move. Your sister is in Chicago, I said. She's not engaged. She's not in Vegas. Paula's eyes flicked everywhere except at us. You're twisting things. You always twist things. You... Charles cut her off. Stop. Paula froze again. He stepped forward. Your fiancé did not twist anything. You lied. You built a story that did not include truth or respect. His voice never rose. It didn't need to. Paula forced a shaky breath. Dad, listen. This is not what you think. I just needed space. I didn't want wedding pressure. I didn't want... Daniel interrupted her. Hold on. You told me you two were basically done. You said you were staying here this week to figure out how to end it. Paula's head whipped toward him. Daniel, shut up! He stepped back. I'm not covering for you. You dragged me into this. Linda shook her head slowly. Why, Paula? Why lie about your sister? Why create a trip? Paula grabbed the counter like she needed support. I just slipped, and then I couldn't stop. I thought I had time to fix everything before the wedding. Charles exhaled through his nose. Fix? He pointed at Daniel. Is that what you call this? Paula's voice cracked. It was a mistake. A stupid one. I swear, Dad, it's not real. Stanley, please. We can fix this. Just talk to me. I looked at her steadily. You didn't break a moment, Paula. You broke the foundation. Her breath hitched. Charles straightened. The wedding is off. Effective now. No, Paula shouted, stepping forward. Dad, you can't. Everything's paid for. Yes, he said. By me. And I'll handle the consequences. Paula, I think you should go. I'm not getting dragged further into this, Daniel added. She stared at him like he'd stabbed her. You said you cared. I said I liked spending time with you, he replied. That's different from this. Paula sank to the floor next to the spilled coffee, shaking, holding her head. Stanley, she whispered. Don't leave. I stepped back. We already left, Paula. You just didn't notice. Charles motioned toward the door. Let's go. We left Paula on the kitchen floor, crying into her hands. Linda paused only long enough to pull something from Paula's purse, a small silver credit card. She placed it on the counter without a word. That is the emergency card we pay for, Linda said quietly. You can use it to get home. After that, you're responsible for yourself. Paula didn't look up. Charles opened the door. Stanley, he said, and I followed him out into the hallway. We walked down the steps. No one said a word until we reached Charles's sedan. Linda finally spoke. I don't understand how she let it get this far. Charles started the engine, because she thought she could control the outcome. The drive back was the opposite of the drive there. No tension, just exhaustion. Linda cried silently for the first hour. Charles kept his eyes on the road. Back at home, I went straight to my office and wrote down everything that needed attention. Wedding vendors, deposits, contact numbers, payment logs. I wasn't angry. I wasn't heartbroken. I was processing reality the way I processed any system failure. That night, Charles called. We start tomorrow, 9 a.m., my office. And we did. For 3 days straight, we sat together in his study making call after call. We went down the list: catering, flowers, photography, music, decorations, hotel blocks. Some deposits came back. Some didn't. Charles didn't flinch once. Every expense I had paid, he reimbursed before I could protest. Stanley, he said, handing me a check, you lost more than money. This is the least I can do. Meanwhile, Paula tried to return to our apartment 3 times. The building manager called me the first time. I changed the locks the next morning. She moved into her parents' guest house for a few days. Then Charles held a family meeting without me present. Later, Linda told me the result. She's cut off, Linda said softly. No more cards, no more car, no more support. She can stay there 30 days. After that, she pays rent or leaves. I nodded. It wasn't revenge. It was consequence. A few nights later, Paula sent a short message from an unrecognized number. Can we talk? I stared at it for a moment. Then I deleted it. Paula stayed quiet for about a week after the message I deleted. Then she did what people do when they lose control. She tried to rewrite the story. It started on a Tuesday morning. I was at my desk reviewing a logistics blueprint when my phone buzzed twice, then 10 times. Group chats, mutual friends, even an old coworker. You seeing this? Dude, what is she talking about? Stanley, you might want to look. Paula had posted a long message on social media, one of those vague paragraphs meant to look poetic but built for drama. She wrote that she was escaping a toxic relationship, that her fiancé monitored her every move, and that she was finally breaking free from manipulation. Not one detail about Daniel, not one mention of her sister, just a clean smear directed at me. I didn't respond, not because I was noble, but because there was no point. People like Paula don't post for truth. They post for attention. The universe handled the rest. Because 10 minutes after her paragraph went up, Melissa commented under it. Public, bold, no hesitation. Paula, stop lying. I wasn't having a bachelorette party. I wasn't engaged. I was in Chicago. You told Stanley you were in Vegas while you were at Daniel's apartment. Don't make him the villain because you got caught. I saw the comment pop up once, then reappear in screenshots across group chats before Paula could delete it. Someone saved it. Then someone else. It spread fast. Another friend wrote under the thread, "So, Daniel Reyes? Seriously?" Within 20 minutes, Paula removed the post. Within 30, she deleted her entire account. But the damage stuck. Screenshots don't disappear. By the end of the week, Paula had moved out of her parents' guest house and into a small apartment across town. No car, no card, no safety net, just rent and whatever money she had saved. One evening, as I walked out of my office building, I saw her sitting on a bench across the street staring at her phone. She didn't say a word. Neither did I. She looked up once, eyes red, face tired, expression somewhere between anger and regret. Then she looked back down. I kept walking. There was nothing left to say. The collapse had already happened, and she was standing in the rubble she built. 4 months passed. People assume endings come with noise, shouting, breaking things, tearful goodbyes. Mine came with silence. I moved into a new condo across town, smaller, deliberate, built for one person who preferred order. My work life sharpened during that time. I slept better. I ate better. My schedule became predictable again. No sudden surprises. No frantic explanations. No invented stories about sisters in Vegas. Most days felt like a reset button had been pressed. One afternoon, I got a call from Charles. He never wasted words. "Lunch tomorrow?" he asked. "Of course," I said. We met at a small steakhouse he liked. He waited until the food arrived before speaking. "I've been reviewing expansion plans," he said carefully. "New distribution center. East side of the state. Large project." I nodded. "Ambitious." "I want you to run the design operations," he said. "Full contract. Your firm leads it." I rested my fork. "You're certain?" "You handled the collapse of that wedding with more composure than some of my executives handle supply issues. You see failure as information, not catastrophe." He paused. "I value that." I didn't thank him right away. Not out of pride. Out of weight. It meant something coming from him. "I'll take it," I said. He nodded once, satisfied. As we left the restaurant, he placed a hand on my shoulder. "For the record, Stanley, you were good to her. She ruined what she had. You didn't." That was the closest thing to closure I needed. Later that night, a message appeared from an unknown number. "Hope you're happy. You ruined my life." No greeting, no name, no responsibility. I read it twice, not for emotion, just confirmation. Then I blocked the number. I stood by the window of my new place. A normal night, simple, steady. In the beginning, Paula's lie had felt like a hairline crack, a small stress line you could almost miss if the light hit wrong. But cracks grow, structures fail. I didn't lose a wedding. I lost an illusion. My new foundation was clean, level, and mine. And for the first time in a long time, life actually felt built to last. Thank you for watching.